Through the fog-covered narrow streets of Verwennes, cloistered in dark forests, news of an unholy force, of the events that shook a small town in the heart of Europe, swept through. In an era of religious persecution and unknown mysteries, fate confronted the inhabitants of Verwennes with a terrible force that turns souls to ash and brings misfortune. Times were hard, and darkness was upon this humble town with all its mighty fury. In the years 1563 to 1566, as hysteria gripped the people and the ghosts of the past rose from their earthly hiding places, Verwennes found himself at the center of an ominous plot. During those 3 years, through endless nights, demons possessed the soul of a young woman named Nicole Aubrey. Chaos and mayhem infiltrated every corner of her being, destroying the last vestiges of her own will. Astaroth, one of the most dangerous demons, was descending into her heart, enveloping it in darkness and enslaving her mind. The sinister essence of Nicole Aubrey and her possession began to behave more and more wildly. The people of Verwennes learned of her fate and of the terrible events unfolding beyond the boundaries of reality. The city was shrouded in fear and prayer, and each new morning became a challenge for them because they never knew what the coming night would bring. But one day, the desperate inhabitants decided to enlist their help. A summoned priest, sworn to protect the faith and cast out evil, engaged in a determined battle against the demon Astaroth, lurking within Nicole Aubrey. Through the power of faith and the power of sacred rites, he gathered all his strength to exorcise the demon from the possessed soul. Hours turned into days and days into weeks as the priest battled the hellish forces in which Nicole was trapped. But every time he came close to victory, Astaroth and the other demons wore him down with their insane power, weakened his faith, and suppressed his every movement. It seemed that no amount of prayers and exorcisms could free the girl from this madness. Finally, however, the day came when the priest, exhausted and weary, was able to overcome the devil's terror, grapple with the mighty Astaroth, and bring him to his knees. At the conclusion of his mission, the priest freed Nicole Aubrey from the shackles of the demon Astaroth, and the young woman's soul shone again with the light of hope. But when Nicole awakened from the nightmares with which she had been possessed, she realized that she could not completely rid herself of the dark past. In the moment of her release, Astaroth left an imprint on her being. As soon as she opened her mouth, it was not a human figure but a pig, repulsive and grim. Verwennes shuddered at the sight of this grim transformation. The citizens, who had hoped so much for the final exorcism of evil, found only a new shadow that pierced their hearts with the swine's scorching gaze. The story of Nicole Aubrey and the demon Astaroth was a warning that the forces of evil never completely retreat. They leave their traces to constantly remind them of their presence. And now, everyone who stepped through the narrow streets of Verwennes could feel the cold wind blowing, and the shadows flickering around them were unsettling and disturbing. The story of Nicole Aubrey became a legend that was passed down from generation to generation, reminding people of the importance of being vigilant against the forces of darkness that can always penetrate to the deepest place of our souls. She reminded them that even after the fiercest battle, light does not always prevail completely, and remnants of evil can torment our hearts and minds for a long time. The story of Nicole Aubrey and her obsession was a reminder of the struggle between light and darkness, that each of us carries both good and evil within us. It teaches about the need to overcome one's fears and troubles in order to become stronger and strive for a brighter future.
All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing.